This is the Tory mayoral candidate for London, Susan Hall, who did this.
Do you remember liking a tweet that had the language, "It's never too late to get London back," with a picture of Enoch Powell?
She was on Nick Ferrari's LBC show last week with this ridiculous claim.
I just did a normal journey, and same thing with lots of people that are pickpocketed or whatever. You just get to the end of your journey and realise that you don't have your Oyster or your pass or whatever.
It was ridiculous because she was claiming that her Oyster card had been stolen, but it seemed obvious to everybody that in reality she just accidentally dropped it.
But when I got home, because in my Oyster card holder I've also got my business card, somebody phoned me and said he'd seen somebody sitting on it.
So if it had been stolen, why would it have been left on a seat with someone sitting on it?
Most odd. He'd asked him if it was it. I know, I just don't get it.
The Oyster card was returned, so pretty much a non-story. But now, a week later, we have an update with Susan Hall back on LBC, back on Nick Ferrari's programme, and a caller points out what was pretty obvious to us all.
Yes, I wanted to ask, last week, or possibly a week before, it's crazy at the moment, last week you called LBC to report a crime. You've been a victim of pickpocketing of your card wallet and a bit of cash, etc. During that interview with Nick, you quoted you were very lucky to get it back, as if a low-life thief had been caught and apprehended and everything been sorted out. I think not just myself, but probably hundreds or thousands of other people, we just think the truth is you're fully aware that you just left it on a seat and a kind gentleman had found it and called you to say he had it, and you arranged to meet him, or he arranged to meet you to collect your lost property. It just seemed like you dressed yourself up as a victim of a crime wave, right. Got yourself on EBC and clearly lied about your senior moment. So my question to you is, at what point did you sit down and ask yourself, how can I use this to try and advance my mayoral chances? And will you now please apologise to the listeners? And may I remind you you're on LBC today?
Will she admit the obvious truth? Will she? Heck, she's just going to double down.
Thank you for reminding me, but I'm well aware I'm on LBC, and I was delighted to be able to speak to Nick last week. And I remember saying to him, I was the luckiest woman in the world because my wallet had been found, and I had received a phone call from a gentleman telling me that he'd found it. The truth of the matter is that I got on the tube at Westminster. You'll come from Brighton, so I'm not sure if you're aware of the Underground. I got on at Westminster with my card, got off at Pinner, didn't have it. And given that crime on the Underground has gone up 50%, I truly believe that I had been pickpocketed. But if you think thousands of people are listening, the joy of that is that thousands of people might think, right, I must be very, very careful with my wallet or my card or whatever else.
Do you want to revise your story?
No, because I don't know what happened to it, genuinely.
Susan Hall, are you still claiming that you were pickpocketed on the tube?
I'm claiming I lost my wallet.
That's not what you initially said.
No, I had assumed I had been pickpocketed. For all I know, I still was. I genuinely do not know. I got off at I got on at Westminster with it. I got off at Pinner without it.
Oh dear me! Just stop! Stop!
I am more than aware of the crimes.
Why would a pickpocket not take the cash or your credit cards or indeed the whole wallet? Why would she leave it on the tube?
At that point, I had no idea. At that point, I just knew I didn't have my card.
Isn't the reality it fell out of your pocket?
I don't know. It's the honest answer.
I really don't get what's happening here. She's making herself look totally stupid, which isn't that hard to do, actually.
I had it at Westminster. I didn't at Pinner. I have no idea.
If you can't be trusted with your wallet, Susan Hall, why can you be trusted with London?
Because we have to look. 50% increase in crimes on the London Underground. I'm aware of that. I was very lucky. But I got my property back, but thousands of people don't, Nick.
This is so embarrassing. How has she got the nerve to carry on with this ridiculous claim?
Told me today I have felt the consequences of that when a pickpocket targeted me on the London Underground. You sought to weaponise this, didn't you?
Well, I wanted to bring attention to the fact that we must be very, very careful.
And you've been caught out.
No, you're only caught out if you say something wrong.
So you said you were pickpocketed then? You're still
No,
sticking...
I don't know is the answer. I had it...
Well, let me put it another way. Do you think a professional pickpocket, or any pickpocket, would gain someone's wallet or purse and then leave all the cash and the credit cards in it?
The truth is, I have no idea. I had it at Westminster.
You don't know. So you've just been talking about how you'll get tough on crime.
Yeah.
And you think pickpockets might be in the practice of stealing wallets and then not taking the cash.
I know that pickpockets are on the underground and it's gone up by 50%. That is what we should be concentrating on. I was exceptionally lucky. I got mine back.
Because it was never stolen in the first place. Grr.
I suspect you've got loads of listeners that have actually lost property on the underground. And
Right.
it's a horrible feeling when you go to get your pass or whatever and it's not there.
So just to clarify, and we will move on after this, Andy's asking you to apologise. There will be no apology because you still maintain you think you could have been the victim of a pickpocket whose level of incompetence is that they get hold of your wallet and then take nothing from it.
Yes, I could have been. I did, when I was saying that, I had not got my property back. I was phoned later in the late afternoon.
OK, no revision of that. You're staying with that, Susan?
Yes, that's right, because it's the truth.
Click here for another video about Susan Hall.